All right, I'm about ready to get started. You ready? We're born ready. Let's get started. Y'all ready? Let's get going. Whoop, whoop. Listen, whoop, whoop means excitement. Let me have a whoop whoop in the chat. Come on now.
See the whoop whoops.
Whoop whoop is international.
Yes, no translation needed for whoop whoop, guys.
No, if you don't know what it means by now, you've been missing out.
Oh,
Ask somebody.
No.
They'll tell you. We have whoop whoop t-shirts. We have whoop whoop everything. So it is so funny when I come and meet people for the very first time. It doesn't matter where they are, what language they're speaking, or what language we're trying to speak. People come on. If I even introduce myself, they go whoop whoop.
They're like, oh, whoop whoop.
So yes, indeed. All right, here we go. All right. So what I want to talk about is this: how does something make you feel? And what I mean by that is this: in life, there are many different things that technology has developed. For example, it can tell you what your heartbeat is. There are tests that try to tell you how long it takes a plane to travel certain places. Weather, they can predict weather these days. Artificial intelligence is coming about, right? But there really, am I right when I say this to you, that there has never been a test developed to measure how bad you really want something? I want you to think about that for a second. There's never been a test developed to measure how bad you want something. Am I right? Let me hear it in the chat. Am I right or am I wrong? And if you tell me I'm wrong, don't worry about it. You won't get paid. It's all right. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm not. No, but anyway. No. So guys, I take an abuse over here. She's kicking me under the table. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm okay.
All in good fun.
All right, so there has never been a test, right? So I want to take you back in time a little bit, just a few years, and I want to share something with you. Check that out.
Look at that picture.
That is yours truly. Now, there are some things I want you to observe in this picture, right? Number one, check out that hair. Not only did I have more of it, but that was not a good hair day. No gel in the hair, right?
There you go.
All right. Boxer shorts, my 7 dogs. Right? Then those are boxers, girl. Those are straight boxers with the white socks. Okay, now watch. So think about this. Okay, I want to take you through the dogs: Shadow, Majesty, Brittany, Lexus, Bentley, Mocha, and Brandy. Aww. Now, you see that Shadow and Lexus. Shadow's here, Lexus is there. They're mixed breed. I found them, right? The Bassets, pets. Now, so what did I have back then? And I also want you to take a look at the neighborhood, right? Standard houses, standard mailboxes, nothing super fancy. That was my life many years ago. Now, what made me tick then? It's very simple. The same thing that made me tick then is the same thing that makes me tick now. And it's the same thing, most importantly, is what should make you tick, right? And it's your dreams. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter your hairstyle, whether you're wearing boxer shorts or you're part redneck like me with 7 dogs and all the leashes and everything. It is the dream. Okay. Some people have a very bad thing of thinking they'll wait to get excited until they start making money. You have it all backwards. If you're not excited before you make money, there's a very good chance that you're not going to make money. When I say money, I mean wealth, right? I don't mean just a few bucks here or there, right? So that is critically important. So back then, I wasn't married. I didn't have money. I have more debt than money. I just left a great career at the sheriff's office, which I love police work because I love helping and meeting people. But all I had was the inspiration of the dogs. And people that know this, that own pets, you understand this, that pets provide you unconditional love. Am I right? So that's all that I had. So my inspiration then was to do better for the pets, to do better for people, And obviously along the way, I knew if I helped people, I would do better for myself. So now watch. So take my life from there to next. Take a look at this, right? Mm-hmm. My hair's done there at least. But what that is that is a picture of when I was able to donate $1 million, which was the largest donation in the history of the Humane Society then, largest in the 100-year history, actually. And we named the animal center after Shadow and Thunder, who were two of my pups. So I go from that to that. And believe me, I didn't get any smarter along the way, right? I didn't work any harder along the way. I just learned what to do, right? So I learned through my own failures. And keep in mind, for all you people, I didn't have an upline in the business. I was self-taught, right? So I didn't care how many times people told me no, I figured it out, because one of the keys is you just talk to people more than those that tell you no. It's a very simple thing. There's a big lesson in all of this for everybody here is this business at its core is not complicated. It's very hard work, but it's not hard. And there's a big difference. It's not hard to understand, right? So I went from bad hair day, wearing boxer shorts, to this, donating $1 million. And a big lesson behind all this is the fact of it was not only myself that gave money to the Humane Society then, but there were a lot of our promoters that were doing it at the same time. And so part of what's important to me, very much important to me, is that you learn how to do well so that you can help other people.
Absolutely.
That's critically important. Yeah. Selfish people don't make it in this business. They just don't, right? So, remember that, because that's important. Now, here's another important slide. Now, I want you to, so put yourself in my shoes for a second. Mm-hmm. This day. So I go from where I was to being able to donate $1 million. And then there was a neat story here. There was a lady, her name was Wendy Albano. She's a big fan of animals, just as much as I was. And what you see here is her family. And in the middle picture, the gentleman with the glasses, that's her dad. The lady to the right is his wife, Wendy's mom. And you'll see her kids here. And Wendy could not make the meeting because, unfortunately, she was murdered right before this happened. And her family was desperately trying to raise, back then, $100,000 to name the feral cat patio after their mom. But they could only raise, back then, they raised $25,000 of the $100,000, right? So because I had an opportunity in the financial bandwidth to be able to help, as soon as I found out about it, and I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, but I gave her family $75,000 that day so that they could name it after their mom. And what you see there is that's the reaction. Why aren't you hitting me now? No. What you can see now is the reaction of her family. And that is the hug that her mom gave me. And for those of you that hug people, you know the difference between a real hug and a nice to see you hug, right? That was a real hug. So I want you to think about it. So how did all that happen? The big lesson here is not the money. For them, it provided a great output, which is a forever output. Her name will forever be on that building. Her mom's honor will always be remembered. But what people often don't see in life is the sacrifices and the struggles that you make to get there. And that's what I want each of you to pay attention to. You have to sacrifice. You have to be consistent. You have to dream. You have to learn the basics. You have to pay attention to what goes on in the Purple Diamond Guide. You have to believe. You have to understand that MLM is a vehicle to help people that are not just average, but are tired of being treated average. And there's a big difference in that too. So if you are not in a position right this second to do things like this, my advice to you would be this: start dreaming. Start dreaming. Because it all begins there. So what did you learn from this, and what did I learn from it? What I learned from this is that anything is possible when you dream. People ask me all the time, how did you go from being a policeman to this? Hell, that was after I already was a policeman. Bob has not changed. I mean, my education is still the same. I'm not as much hair now, maybe, but Bob is still Bob. The dream is stronger by the day, because now I'm just not living for my dreams. I'm living for all of yours. We push the envelope here at Kiari. We do. We do stuff that no company's ever done, paying in 5 minutes, setting up faster than we've ever set up global infrastructure. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But that all comes from wanting to put other people first. I don't want to disappoint any of you. And I know that in order for us to get to where we need to go, if you want to substitute me in that picture, then we need to listen faster, please. We need to work faster, please. We need to pay attention more, please. Because I need you to really think about this, about where your life is and where it really could become, what it really could become. Because again, everything is powered by the dream. Everything. In life it is, in business it is, in this industry it is. Dreams help you overcome obstacles. It helps you overcome disappointments. When the dream is so big, nothing else matters. Tough times never last. Tough people always do. Pay the price now so you can pay any price later. This guy paid some prices. Believe me, I did. And again, I want to say this. I did not have kids then. I did not have Kristie in my life then. This was all me having a dream, looking forward to the future. Because I knew at the animal health center in our county, there's a lot of pets that were going to heaven unnecessarily simply because there were not enough homes. So one of the ways in which you combat that is through spaying and neutering and public awareness and messaging and helping. So my dream was that strong because I wanted to pay it back to my pets. For those and people that say, oh, they're just pets, you don't get it. For those of you that have never experienced this, they will love you like people should be loved. They don't care how much money you have. They don't care. They just want to be loved. And they're deserving of love. So if you think my dreams were big then, can you imagine now that I have a fantastic family with 3 young kids that I'm responsible for with Kristie to make sure that we raise them to be good for the future.
Big hearts.
Yep. Very, very, very proud moment. Tyler's birthday was yesterday. So Kristie and I were thankful, like, oh my God, can you imagine? He's 7 already, right? He's going from being a little boy to a young man now. And so at his school, his teacher wrote a really beautiful note about his heart, which is really neat.
It was so sweet.
And all the kids in his classroom wrote a note to Tyler because it was his birthday. And every single one of them, without fail, wrote about Tyler's heart and how sweet he is. That to me was
priceless.
Oh my gosh. That's what it's about. It's about the dream. So if you just think about this for a second, right? So all of you should take a minute, step back. When I say a minute, you don't need 2 minutes to do this. And just think about where your life is now and refire up your dreams. That's it. It's really simple. If your car's a hoopty, fire up your dreams. If your house is not on par, fire up your dreams. If you don't like your environment, fire up your dreams. If you don't like your bank account balance, fire up your dreams, right? I promise you that I promise, Kiari's the vehicle, right? But we can't do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. If you're one of these people that post up on your Facebook on how you like sleeping in on XYZ days, good luck with that. It's not going to inspire anybody. So you got to start inspiring yourself. That's where it all begins, right? Does everybody understand that? It's totally up to you. I promise you on our end, I'll pay you in 5 minutes. I promise you on our end that the products will work great for you. I promise you that you'll get great support. I promise you the marketing will always be on point. That I'll promise you, right? I can control that stuff, but you control you. Bob doesn't control you. Bob can give you a guidance. Bob can give you tips on what I did to get to where I am, but Bob can't put that hustle in your heart that you need to go chase your dreams. That's on you. That's on all of you, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so speaking of making sense, our corporate team, we have now over 500 years of MLM experience. 500.
Wow, that's amazing.
For those of you even counting in dog years, that's a lot of experience, right? So more and more and more as we are putting out around the world, global infrastructure, product, paying in 5 minutes, etc. We are adding team members that are the best of the best of the best.
Absolutely.
Not only that, it all starts with me, and I'm going to tell you this, it all starts with me with the person. Somebody could have talent, but if they're not looking to put other people first, I don't even care less. Right. Next, it really is about a 5-second decision for me. NEXT, right? Next. So we look for people that have great talent, great experience, great wisdom, but most importantly, a great heart. So I am very proud to introduce the next brand new member of the Kiari family on the corporate side. Introducing Mr. David Casanova, who is from Mexico, who is the brand new VP of Global Expansion. And we have David here with us. He is in Panama now, traveling back to his home country of Mexico. So I was able to grab him before he hopped on the airplane so he could come on and say a few words to everybody. So David, welcome.
Buenos días, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Saludos a todos. Welcome, annyeonghaseyo to Korea. Welcome, and very, very, very excited of being here. Thank you very much. I am really happy. You know, after you just made me cry, Bob. I am here and people walking around and saying, what's wrong with this guy? You know, he's crying, but it's right. You know, just a couple of months ago, I was just busy working, and I stopped dreaming a long time ago. So it was after I met Kristie and Bob, you know, that my heart started pumping again, feeling the emotion about being part of this wonderful industry that I have been for 35 years. I have loved it all the way, 35 years of great experience, making great friends all over the world. I have lived in 11 different countries in these 35 years. creating, designing, and running network marketings around the world. So I feel blessed about this. So after meeting Kristie and Bob, I was able to dream again. And I am very proud to say that I joined this industry 35 years ago in the #1 company. But I started thinking I want to retire in 15 years from now in the new #1 company. So I'm making my dream come true. I am making my dream come true of being able to retire of this fantastic career in 15 years in the new #1. So thank you very much, Kristie. Thank you very much, Bob, and looking forward to meeting all these wonderful leaders all around the world.
Yeah, thanks, David. Welcome to the family.
Yes, David.
Yeah,
Thank
David
you.
he's been to the house a few times.
Yes.
Traveling from Mexico here. We're sitting down having heart-to-hearts just about life in the industry and what the vision of QuiAri is and what it means for everybody. And David's going to be hitting the road here. As a matter of fact, he's in Panama meeting with people now, heading back to Mexico. From Mexico, he's going to be traveling to different places. He spent quite a bit of substantial time in Korea before as well. So everybody, you know how it goes. The new #1 has arrived. So welcome, David. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. My purple heart to yours.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
So listen, there's a huge shift going on in the industry right now. Huge shift. What people are looking for is excitement, but a company that has great products that can pay people fast. They are tired, not only just tired, but sick and tired of having to change companies every 6 months. You will never, ever, ever build money freedom or time freedom that way. Because each time you have to go back to your people and give them an excuse as to why, and that's what it is, and is an excuse of why you're having to change yet again. You lose people, you lose credibility. And at the end of the day, we are in the credibility business. Our word has to meet something, right? It has to mean something. So when we say something that we're going to do it, we do it. And that's what people are looking for in this industry, in this business. So for all the new leaders, new teams, other companies that you're working that were, I call them Rudy Poo companies that were never designed to be long-term to begin with. They didn't have a chance in the world of being long-term to begin with. Welcome to your final home, to QuiAri.
Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home. Exhale, feel at peace. Know that you're valued, customers, promoters,
Correct.
that this will be your last. Now, your timing is perfect. Now, I want to say this because, you know, if you've never owned an MLM company, which is exploding like QuiAri is, it's hard for people to put some things into context. But let me help you to do this, right? It takes a couple of days to make a Toyota, but a year to make a Rolls Royce. I want you to think about this. So people, Bob, when are we launching this market? Bob, and the answer is when Bob tells you.
When we're ready. When
everything is perfect is when we do. Just because we haven't, quote, launched something doesn't mean there's not a lot of stuff going on.
No.
From an IT perspective, from a product perspective, from a logistics perspective, from a marketing perspective, from a legal perspective. Okay. So because I also, wisdom tells me this, as long as I've been in this industry, this, if something is not perfect, you'll be the first to complain if it's not perfect. I'm not going to give you a reason to complain, right? So people can say, oh, wow, people have been waiting. You should. And I understand it. And I promise you that when and it doesn't matter what particular market we're talking about, because there are a lot of them that we're opening right now. But just because something looks easy doesn't mean it is easy. And what you have to concentrate on is to have faith in the company. But most importantly, is to pay attention to the announcements that we put out, because on these broadcasts, I put out a lot of announcements, a lot, right? And some people say, well, I didn't get the message. Well, you weren't on the broadcast. That's the reason why. So, or you didn't watch the recap of it. So people have to make sure that you do that, because I will say this, and everybody knows that I'm very, very, very candid, right?
Transparent, yes.
There is not a person in the world that's going to rush me into anything in this business. You don't exist. You never will exist.
Mhm.
So people have to understand that. Our standard is perfection, period. When we have meetings every day, many times a day, about the different markets. I'll just give you an example. Like overnight in Korea, we had many pallets of product get to Korea.
Yes.
There is product arriving in Korea like every second day, every third day via air, right? But there are a few things that we need to make sure is perfect still.
For sure.
That's it. Once I know, we will be announcing the launch date in Korea. We'll be announcing the location of the kickoff event in Korea.
Yep.
And obviously, Kristie and I and other members of the corporate team will be on the way there. It's not just the Korea market, though. There are other markets we are launching at the same time or very close to the same time. So this process gets repeated in many different markets. So again, please make sure that you come here. Don't go and ask in your upline because they don't know. Believe me, they don't know. Please don't send a message to Kristie and ask her because she's not going to tell you. If you ask me right this second, I'm still not going to tell you myself, because there are a few things that Bob doesn't control that we are waiting on. Just like maybe, for example, if you're talking about Korea, more product landing over there, right? Because we need to make sure that we have many, and there's a lot of minis in there, millions of dollars in product over there, because we know it's a huge market.
Yeah.
We know there's a ton of excitement, but we also know too that we are doing things that no other company has ever done in the history of Korea, like paying the same day, right? So we want to make sure that, because we're pioneers, that everything is 1 trillion% perfect, right? That's our standard. And there are plenty of other companies out there in our industry that's not our standard. I know that because they're in the MLM graveyard. Their leaders come here. And so that's how it goes. So again, come next week, I'll be able to give you more updates next week. I do say this too, our management team in Korea, Miss S.A., doing a tremendous job. All the team there, tremendous job, right? So
they're working around the clock with our time, their time. Our staff is doing the same thing. Our IT, everything is pedal down. There's no rest at all, and we are going as fast, more than fast as humanly
I mean,
possible.
for those of you that don't understand too, if you've never done international business, Korea is plus 13 hours from where we are. So at 7 in the morning, it's 8 o'clock at night there, and at 10 o'clock at night here, it's 11 o'clock in the morning there. So in this particular market and others in the Asian sphere, I mean, they're the last thing we do before we go to bed, the first thing we do when we get up.
Absolutely.
Right? So just to put a little bit of perspective on it for everybody, right? So
that being said, welcome Kiari.
The new #1 has arrived, right?
Yes.
So again, dream, work harder than ever, put other people first, get excited, get ready, learn the basics, Purple Diamond Guide, teach the basics, Purple Diamond Guide, get your teams plugged in to Thursdays for what we're doing, because there's a lot going on. If you blink, you're going to miss something. If you miss something, don't ask me.
No.
Ask yourself. All right? Fair enough. So on behalf of myself, Kristie, the entire Kiari family, thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you all.
Welcome, David.
So
Special.
you guys.
Welcome. David, I'll see you on the leaders broadcast here in a little bit with some new leaders in the Hispanic market. Appreciate everybody, all your hard work.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, everybody. Love everybody.
Love you guys.
We'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you.
Soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.